Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, it's coming. In Europe it's coming. The civil unrest, it's starting, and that is because the people over there are not used to have shortages. I'm not saying that you should be used to have shortages, but sometimes when you have shortages you can appreciate more when you have abundance. But when you are always having abundance, you become bored and you take it as a given that you have it, which is a good thing, because anytime the government tries to get something from you, you start yelling, hey, what are you doing? So it's both ways good. In this case, they're bringing, I think, the population to the brink of erupting and having a lot of protests. So this article comes from Oil Price, Yahoo, and it's from September, I was about to say February, September 2nd, 2022. Energy shortages and inflation threaten civil unrest in Europe. Germany and Norway, two of the wealthiest states in Europe, are among countries that are experiencing disruptions to everyday life that in some countries could lead to civil unrest. This is according to risk consultancy Verisk Maplecraft, whose new civil unrest index report revealed that more than 50% of the 198 countries covered by the index saw an increase in civil unrest in the past quarter. And I'm quoting, "The world is facing an unprecedented rise in civil unrest as governments of all stripes grapple with the impacts of inflation on the price of staple foods and energy," principal analyst Torbjörn Soldved said. And I'm quoting, "The data covering 7 years shows that the last quarter saw more countries witness an increase in risks from civil unrest than at any time since the index was released," he said. If that's not bad enough, Soldved said that the worst is still to come. You bet. Soldved, I don't have to do a risk assessment here. I can tell you that's next. And the more these guys are trying to tell us to buckle up and dig our heels over there for Ukraine, I think people will say, wait a second, mommy, where's my Coca-Cola? Where's my Pepsi? Hey, honey, where are my cigarettes? Hey, turn the light off. Things like this. So, and I'm quoting, "With more than 80% of countries around the world seeing inflation at above 60%, oh, my bad, 660, not yet. In Turkey, yeah, 70 or something. So with more than 80% of the countries around the world seeing inflation above 6%, socioeconomic risks are reaching critical levels. Almost half of all countries of the CUI are now categorized as high or extreme risk, and a large number of states are expected to experience a further deterioration over the next 6 months." Well, unless something happens in Ukraine, but that's not it. It's the economies that are, after this beautiful quote-unquote situation that we had, the countries with extreme risks of protests include, perhaps unsurprisingly, Germany, Ukraine, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Europe has been badly shaken by an energy crunch that began last year due to low energy production and low gas storage levels, worsened this year after Russia invaded Ukraine and the EU responded with sanctions, and is about to get worse still as the sanction push continues, with a price cap on Russian oil shipments to be discussed by G7 today. So when that happens, they said if they put a cap, it was another expert, actually there were two experts who said that if they will put a cap on the Russian oil, the price per barrel will jump from whatever is right now around 100 to $365 one barrel. That's what they said. But you know how the analysts are. They definitely will jump. According to Verisk Maplecraft report, wealthy governments who can spend their way out of the crisis have a good chance of surviving the unrest. Those who lack funds to pay to shield citizens from excessive energy prices may end up paying with their positions. Well, but you see, these guys are trying to do this. This is what I see what happens. This crisis was manufactured, or at least it's a result of some decisions that were calculated to exist, which is those guys over there decided to place sanctions on Russia. So it was not like because Russia invaded Ukraine, somehow like 3 pipelines broke, or I don't know, the Huns came and stole the energy from Russia. No, the Russian energy flow would have been going the same way as it went before February 24th. So it's not that. What it is, what changed everything, is how these leaders of ours, handlers, reacted to that. If they wouldn't have reacted, you would have had a lot of natural, energy resources right now given by Russia, contra cost. But these guys made a decision to sanction them. Now you don't have it. And they want to sanction more and more and more. That means you're going to have less and less and less. That's one thing. The other thing is, how will they try to figure it out? Because obviously you're going to pay more per energy, but your income will stay steady as the number. But with inflation, it's going to decrease each and every second. So the things that you could buy today, tomorrow you buy less, and the next day even less and even less. That's how it is, because the prices and the inflation pushes things, and your income stays steady as the number. If I give you 1%, imagine I give you 1% a raise on an inflation, let's say 15, on whatever you buy, milk, bread, gas, electricity, and all that jumped over your 1%. So you work in big deficit. So what they try to do is weasels, and now they tell you, we're going to subsidize you. That means there will be the socialist who's going to throw bread in the arena, you know, how the Roman emperors were saying, circus and bread. That's how they kept the masses quiet from rebelling. At that point, the latest part of the Roman Empire, that's how they got. They were giving food to people just to shut up. Now the problem is, here they don't give you food, they give you money, but the money doesn't come from your or my profits that we are so efficient. No, we work in a deficit because inflation is too big, it goes down, the economy shrinks. So that means they will borrow the money. They will borrow from whom? From some bankers that you don't know their faces, you don't know their names, you don't know who they are, where they live, what they do, how they look. I kind of know how they look, but you know, it's just they borrow from those guys. Those guys give you the money plus interest. The government gives you how much they want to give you. Yeah, so you depend on the government. Beautiful. You owe nothing and you will be happy, right? And then inflation is going to grow and you have to pay that money back one day. When? So your country is going to get in deeper debt than it is. You will depend on government handouts. So they will be the ones that are going to give you whenever they have it from the bankers. So the bankers actually control you. So you remember that thing, che bono? Who benefits? So when you talk about the Ukraine war, you have 3 beneficiaries. 3 big ones. I'm talking about in economic terms. 1, the banking system. This is one example. Second, the energy system, the energy industry, right? They make profits like never before. And the one with arms industries. The three of them. Are they big donors to the Democratic candidates that we are put in front of us to vote for? You bet. I don't know. Just facts. Maybe I just connect them wrong, which I don't think so, but just to think about it. So yes, they will help us. Who's they? Help us. Nobody helps anybody unless you help yourself and you help your friends, you help your family. That's it. And then you go further. You community, city, state, and so on, country. If you can more, go ahead, if you have that power. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.